Phase 2, Program 2, Workout E. We're going to continue to keep working on the Turkish get-up. Now, depending on where your member is at, we might be progressing them from the rolls into the bridges or from the bridges to the sweeps. If we've gone to the sweeps, at this point, we should be going through the full get-up. So if we are working with somebody who is past the sweeping motion where they're able to bridge and they can sweep where their hand, knee, and foot are in alignment, they're ready to progress to the full get-up. So an easy way to help someone get into their first get-up is starting from the top. So I start with my right hand up in the air from this position. I take the left leg back, I open the gate, hand goes down the knee, sweep the leg through, hip, elbow, back. Then I reverse the order. I hip roll, screw my arm into the ground, I bridge, I sweep, I hinge, I close the gate, and I'm back tall. So again, if somebody's progressed enough from the sweep, let's go through the full motion next. Next, we're going to go into our kneeling side plank. With the kneeling side plank, I have the band around my knees because I'm going to talk about a progression, but first let's talk about the full kneeling side plank. Make sure to start with your elbow underneath your shoulder. From this position, my hips are stacked, my head is back, I raise up, keeping my ribs tucked, head back, driving my bottom leg into the ground. Now, for most members, this is going to be challenging enough, but for those who want to progress, what you can do is add in a banded clamshell. And with those, we'll do 3 reps. So we're going to bridge up, and from this position, I'm keeping tight. I go into the clamshell and I hold, bring it down. 3 on each side. Lastly, a half kneeling T-spine rotation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a half kneeling position. Opposite hand goes into the knee. Hand is forward. I'm going to stretch as far as I can, bringing it back. So I'm feeling a stretch throughout the front of the hip and the upper back. Next, we're going to go into dumbbell floor presses. Our focus here is going to be pausing at the top. So as I press the weight up, 1, 2, slow and controlled back down. Press up, 1, 2. Bring them back down, slow and controlled. Next, we're going to go into our USB single leg bridge. From this position, I'm going to rip that bag in half. I'm going to bridge up and turn inward. Bring it back to center, lower it back down. So I bridge and turn at the same time. If our members aren't quite here yet, start with a regular single leg bridge. Otherwise, you can go into just bilateral bridging. Next, we're going to be going into our open book rotations. Stack that knee on top of the roller. Bottom hand pins the knee down. From this position, my palm starts down. I start rotating that arm up. As I start turning with my upper back, my palm goes up. My hand will end in line with my chest. Then I'm going to rotate it back. So, starting from this top position, I pin my knee down. I start rotating, keeping my hand as low to the ground as I can, then bringing it back up. So again, keep in mind that some members may have mobility issues with this. If they're having pain, have them just do a regular open book with the roller. If they're having limited range of motion through it, just do their best to keep their hand up or down when they're going through their rotation. Lastly, our USB Zercher lateral lunge. Placing the bag in the Zercher position, take a step to the side, drop the hips down, press up, and stand tall. So again, I'm holding the bag into the crook of my arms, my shoulders are back, step to the side, I drop my hips, I press, and stand tall. We'll be pairing that up with TRX single arm rows. Again, we want to focus on keeping the shoulder down, feeling the pull through the lat, lowering yourself down controlled, keeping your shoulders even as you're going through that. For conditioning, we have an AMRAP, as many rounds as possible. We'll start with single arm swings. We're going to do 4 on each side. Again, try to meet your member where they're at. They might be doing two-handed swings, or if single arm swings are looking pretty easy, progress with a heavier weight before starting to teach how to do the snatch. What we're going to go into afterwards is an RKC plank. Otherwise, we can have our members just do a regular elbow plank. But with that RKC plank, we're going to be going into a tight position, pulling the toes and elbows together, squeezing everything as tightly as you can. Lastly, we're going to be pairing that up with skull crushers. And with those skull crushers, we want to make sure that the kettlebell is above our head. From this position, my elbows are going to extend up and bring my weight back down. So my elbows extend up, I lock out, bringing it back down, slow and controlled. Lock out, slow and controlled on the way back down. Trying to keep the elbow joint to being the main mover in this motion.